Hello everyone, this is Lisa Andrus, Psychic Medium, and this is your weekly reading for October 13th to 19th, 2014. And today I am using the Magical Mermaids and Dolphins Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. And I have shuffled and pre-drawn the cards as always, and this week we have a fourth card that is back. So what that means is normally I do the past, present, future, or the beginning, middle, and end of the week. The past, present, future is what we'd be doing if it were a traditional oracle card reading, okay? So you can see it either way, whichever applies to you. And then sometimes I have a bonus fourth card that pops out that to me is just our bonus card for the week or might tell us an overlying theme for the week. So I have not looked at the cards yet, and let's see what we have for the week ahead. We have the first card, which is Pay Attention, and it says, notice repetitious signs in your inner guidance as you can yield valuable information. They want me to tell you about an experience I had in which pay attention became a theme, and it was, before I wrote books, I had repetitive feelings in my head for years to write books. I started to write my first book when I was 14 because I wasn't happy with all of the teen books out there because I was 14 in 1986, and at that time there just weren't the books available that now, thankfully, there's a wonderful young adult, book audience, and as a result, lots of books to that tone. But at the time, I didn't find what I wanted, and I felt like I wanted to write, but I tabled that for a while. Then I got into music, then I wrote songs, again, more repetition. And then it came back to me when I started doing psychic medium work, and I kept thinking, when I first started to open as a medium, I would go to books, and I found a lot of books about mediums, but most of them were either narrative stories about the medium writing the book and maybe about stories of how they've helped others. But what I really wanted was a teaching book. And it frustrated me. I remember so many days of just looking for these books, and it was even before books were in abundance on the internet or that I knew of, so I'd go to bookstores, and I could just never find what I wanted. And then fast forward a few years, I had my first reading where I was told to write a book. I wrote a little story on Facebook just about my move to and from Boston, and at least 3 people said, write a book. So are you seeing a theme here? And then I had a dream, the prophetic dream that told me that, I dreamed that I died and if I wanted to stay on earth to write a book. Now talk about repetition, and perhaps the end seems a little melodramatic, but that would be a great instance of sometimes when we get repetitive thoughts, they don't go away. The things that you love will stay with you. For instance, I went to school for music, and even though I'm not actively out in bands and doing music now, the love of music will always stay with me. That will always be in there. And the love of writing books was something I found once I actually had the courage to sit down and write them. So pay attention to the signs. This is not necessarily a red flag card. Rather, it's a card to say that you've been asking for guidance and you're getting it. You just don't know that you're getting it. You're not trusting the signs. If you keep thinking to yourself, I should write that book, and you think that it's just you, I don't know. Think again. Sometimes heaven's answers are just that simple. That repetitious sign that they're thoughts that recur in our heads. And if the thoughts won't go away, no matter how much they persist, then perhaps it's a sign that you've been looking for, and it's got valuable information about your life purpose or your next step in life or what you're supposed to do. Okay? Now let's see what we have for the middle of the week. Soulmate relationship. And it says, new romance with a spiritual basis is here for you now. Now, if you are single, I can imagine this is a wonderful card. I feel like there are a lot of people that have been alone for a long time, that have been wondering where their soulmate is, and he or she is out there, and I feel like your prayers are being answered. I don't feel like there's really a long message to this, that if you're looking for love, it's going to be here before you think. I see like the end of the year in my head, so I'm feeling like, within the next 3 to 4 months, you're going to meet someone or have a bunch of synchronistic events that bring you to your person. I'm actually hearing you may not find him or her on the internet. It will rather be synchronistic events. So if you're the kind of person that, you are more of an introvert and like to keep to your house, you're going to have to get out there and, take charge and maybe do some, meetup groups or go out to meet friends when otherwise on a cold winter night you'd want to be alone. Go as you feel guided, but really he or she may not come to knock on your door. You may meet somebody in a different way than you would expect. And also the person might be outside of the box of which you are thinking. So if you have a certain type that you like, do you typically go for the bad boy? Now you are more on a spiritual path and maybe that bad boy persona doesn't fit as much anymore. So they're asking you to look outside of the box and don't write off that person that you would just think, he is nice, but not for me. Now they don't want you to make things fit that don't, but they want you to give people a chance when you wouldn't. Don't they say that we normally, especially women, if we're meeting somebody that's a prospective romantic partner, that, we will make our minds up within like 5 minutes or something like that. But what they're saying is open your mind to what normally you would not pay attention to. They don't want you to confuse that with like going out there and looking with a magnifying glass, but rather, if somebody seems to express interest in you that you may not otherwise like, if you really don't like them, you know what to do. But they're just asking you to keep an open mind, because I feel like there are some spiritual soulmates that are on the way that may be the one that you've been looking for that you might some other times overlook. So it doesn't mean you can't get the bad boy, but let's be honest. Do you really want the bad boy anymore? Aren't we past that drama? There's not a wrong answer, but they're just asking you to look outside the box and, realize that the nice guys don't always have to finish last, okay? But I feel like you guys are about to find the person that, is going to make your dreams come true. So even if you think it's not possible, if you think I'm too fat, too skinny, too rich, too poor, too this, too that, get out of the way, because there's somebody out there for everybody. And this person that's coming to you has been wishing for you just like you've been wishing for them. So they want me to say that this is not that this is a romance or a romance card for those of you that are in relationships. It could mean a new level of romance in your relationships, or if you had, if you're in the midst of a breakup, it could be to show you that it not all is lost. If you want to, think, oh, I'm just tired of this. I'm going to be alone enough. I don't seem to be able to make the right decisions. That may not be true. So keep an open mind and know that all your needs will be met. Do the healing that you need to do, but there is great love for you. I feel like a lot of you spiritual teachers think, I have to be alone. I'm here to help other people and maybe love is not for me. And that's wrong. Unless you decide because of a spiritual path you really want to be celibate or alone, otherwise get out of the way. I literally just heard one of my guides say, get over yourself. It doesn't have to be like that. You need to be comfortable, and you are allowed to have your abundance and an abundance of love and romance. You deserve romance. When you have romance, it heightens your energy level and better allows you to relax, to not worry where is my person, and to help other people. So believe that it's out there. And lastly, if you just had something that, a romance that didn't turn out the way that you planned, it's a time of great healing right now. So if you are feeling like you're having some old stuff that's bubbling up, this card is definitely for you. I don't want to get too into what's been going on with me lately, but they're asking me to tell you that I feel like I've been having some old romantic stuff come up lately, just meaning some of the past stuff, the past hurts. I just feel like they've been bubbling to the surface because we are in Mercury retrograde right now. And rather than being a bad time, which some people associate that with, see the good things in it, which this stuff is bubbling up. And if it's making you uncomfortable, like I've had a couple of moments of like, where is this coming from? You know, I haven't thought of this in years. I thought I was over this. It's really just coming up to be healed. And we have to allow it to do that, allow ourselves to feel the emotions, and then just to let them go. This stuff has been sitting in our soul and holding us back, and it's time to just release. But still, I feel that I'm so happy for the people that are single and looking, because it looks like your dreams are about to come true. And if you do not see a sign of that right away, do not lose faith, because it will happen. Okay? Now, for the weekend, we have You're Being Helped. And it says, Heaven is working behind the scenes to help you, even if you don't see results yet. They're saying, do you know what you want? Or do you think you know what you want? Or perhaps you don't know what you want, but you're frustrated and you know you're here for a bigger purpose. And they want you to know that you're being helped. That, you know, sometimes you change your mind and you think, I want this for my job or my source of income, or this for my career path, or this for whatever other piece of life. I know that I change my mind sometimes, just like any other human. But I know that I want to be happy. I want to be content. I tend to move a lot. And so I've kind of asked the universe to undo my contract with moving from house to house, or state to state, or place to place. And even if you have to go somewhere in that instance, like maybe temporarily, like to me, what I've thought is I'm going to get an apartment for a year and then I'm going to buy a house, which is great, but it still means another move. But you have to see the big picture beyond that, that you're safe and they're still helping you get to the location that you want to get, even if it's a little step at a time. So similarly, they want to say that if you're not seeing the results that you want, don't worry, you're being helped, whether you realize it or not. They want me to tell you a story that in my book Gifted I wrote about when I was talking about angels, that one day I was sitting in traffic and I was frustrated, and a bus pulled up beside me, and the bus, the name of the school was the Academy of Holy Angels, and I saw that and just went, because I knew it was a message from my angels. So it was a good surprise, and actually I felt, you know, relieved and humbled when I saw it, because it reminds me that I'm not alone. So they want you to get back to the pay attention, but to pay attention to all the signs that are there, that you're being helped. And especially if you are one of the single people I was talking about, pay attention to the signs, because your soulmate relationship is on the way and you're being helped. Do you see how these cards can all work together? But no matter what it is that you want, they're saying to me the word justice. So if you are involved in some sort of legal battle or some other sort of ethical battle, that justice will be served, and to trust, even if the other party is trying to scare you, or you feel like you've lost power. You're being helped. Nothing is without reason, but instead of expecting that things will happen for the worst, expect that perhaps you are being helped and they're happening for the best, okay? And then our bonus card here, let yourself receive. The message is, allow others to give you loving care. Receive without guilt or apologies. As light workers, we are givers, and it is hard to allow ourselves to receive. And let me give you a little example. Sometimes when I'm making dinner and I want to do everything myself because, I like to be in control of the situation in the kitchen. And my boyfriend will sometimes ask me, can I help you with that? And a lot of times I say no. And one night I finally just said, yes, could you help me with this, or this? And he said to me, you know, I ask you all the time and you always say no. And I'm actually impressed that you finally are letting me help you. And that would be a great and little example of letting yourself receive. You know, one little exercise too could be opening your arms just to the heavens and saying, I allow myself to receive the abundance of the universe. So even though you like to do everything for yourself, sometimes it's time to let other people take care of you and to let yourself receive gifts of abundance. If somebody tries to give you a gift, a literal gift, don't say no. Allow yourself to receive and say thank you. So again, they want to get me back to this soulmate relationship card and say, allow yourself to receive great love. Don't think that you're not worthy of the great love or the great career or the great home or the great family, whatever it is that you desire. Let yourself receive. They want you to know that they love each and every one of you listening to this. That you are not on earth alone, that we are all one. Everybody listening to this reading, we are all one. And I want to thank you all for being here with me. I love each and every one of you, and I will speak to you again next week.